Hi folks, this is John with Dallas Typewriter, and I'm doing this Platen removal for an Erika by request. I'll take you through the steps. It's pretty easy as long as you have plenty of patience, and make sure that you oil with some lubricating oil all the different screws that you plan on removing, and let that soak for a while before you do that, before you remove the screws. First thing you want to do is there's a little screw in the back. I just undid that. You just remove it, and that holds your paper tray in place. This is the eraser tray that goes into that screw slot. So you want to remove that first, and then right here is your the screw for the platen. And if you soak that with enough penetrating oil, it should come loose. You don't have to remove it all the way off. Just remove it enough to feel that the metal dowel that goes through the platen slides out. And notice this little flat spot here, this indentation. When you put it back together, you got to line that up with the screw so that way it slides flat. It tightens flat when you screw it in. Otherwise, if it's on this side and you screw it in, it's just going to wiggle. It won't stay firm. Alright, so right now you just want to pull out the dowel. At this point, you want to clean it with oil. A little sewing machine oil will work on that. Just wipe it off clean. Next step is going to be to basically take the platen off. And with this step here, you just want to just gently pull it up. This is Erika S, and this will work fine. This process is going to be the same for your Erika 5s and the Erika M's. This piece right here that fell off, it just goes here on the right side. It goes into that little slot here, and that is to open the paper tray when you need to open and close it. So we'll move that to the side here. Because I took that screw out from the right side, your paper tray will come right off, and that exposes the feed rollers. So you got your platen ready to ship to JJ Short. You don't need to worry about doing anything here with the platen because there's screws right here. Just leave that alone. I would suggest probably just shipping the whole thing like it is and not unscrewing that part right here where the screws are. This one's ready to go. You might want to just take out the screw now that holds the platen in and just keep that without shipping it so it doesn't get lost. With the feed rollers, if they're if they're round and soft enough and they're not flat and they're working, I wouldn't replace them. If they have flat spots, then you'll need to take them out. The one key thing I can recommend is that you don't over stress these metal cast iron bars right here. These are what hold the feed rollers. There's two ways to do it. You could just do it in a machine. I would suggest taking out these 4 screws right here on the base. They come right off, and then the whole assembly will come up. And then what you want to do is just gently undo the screws that have these little springs. And you can see where they're at. There's 4 of them. This is after you remove it. And the reason why you want to undo those gently is just you don't want to take it apart, because then you can still put it back together, but it's going to take you a long time to fit those back together. The best thing is to just gently undo them enough to get leverage here, and you can see the metal dowel that goes through the hole here. If I were to try and push it now and force it so that I could take this out, to take that out, that dowel out of that hole, this thing will snap because they're pretty delicate. So what you want to do is just right here and here, there and there, just gently unscrew them somewhat until you can feel that you can take the feed roller out without breaking these. Just take your time. Again, if it comes apart, better to have it come apart than to have it break, because then you're going to have to find another part, and it might take you a long time to find a parts machine with that particular part. Once you have those out, then you can send the feed rollers in with the platen. And the assembly, I can do that in the next step. Okay, let's say you got brand new feed rollers, a brand new platen, and you're ready to reinstall. So the first thing you want to do is when you do install the feed rollers, after you put them in these brackets, Make sure that this piece here that swivels for the paper tray is all the way up against this metal wall right here. You want, because when you screw in the feed roller brackets, there's a gap between the screws, so you can adjust, go to one side or the other. So you want to do is make sure it's all the way up against there. Next step will be to get this piece that's loose here reattached. So let me see if I can show you how to do that. This is going to be a little tricky. Not difficult, but just a little tricky. Let me see. So you've got a spring. Make sure your spring is there. You don't lose this spring here, and it goes on this piece here that changes your line spacing as you turn the knob. So right now I've got it set on 1. The part you want to put in is this part right here. This is the part that hits the ratchet to move the line spacing. And let me see. And this is where it's going to take some patience to do it. All right, so that goes in that slot right here, and that's in there. But now we've got the spring part here. So there's 2 prongs that come out. One part of the spring comes on top of this square piece here. There's another one that comes out, but it's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be underneath this. And notice that when I push up on this, it moves the arm back. And that's what you want that spring to do. You want, otherwise this arm here, your lever here will be loose. But once you put the spring there, it's going to move it back every time when you use the line spacer. So that means that we need to push it down. We need to push this piece above it. This is kind of like a little beak. See that? So now that's sitting above that, and that's where you want it. The other thing I would do is you've got the ratchet lever, and one is where you turn the knob and it doesn't ratchet, and the other one is when it's up, it ratchets. So you notice if you push it down, it just gives you a little bit more space for your gears for the Platen to fit, because that's going to be a little challenge. You just got to just mess with it until you get it just right. On the other side here, you're going to have a paper tray. Lever, which is what opens and closes your paper tray. You got to make sure that's in there the right way. So the middle part of it, let's see if I can show you better with this. There's a middle prong that comes out. It goes right inside that metal piece that you have against, that's attached to the feed rollers. You just want to make sure that goes inside there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but you see how it's positioned. That's exactly how you want it to be. Now all this stuff's going to move on you as you put the Platen in, and this is where it's going to take some patience. Just going to have to work it. And jiggling the Platen and working it gently is the only way to get it right. Okay, so now I'm ready to put the Platen in, and hopefully nothing falls off. So the ratchet piece goes here, that piece is down. On this typewriter, I'm not sure on the other more modern Erika 5, I can actually put the paper tray after the Platen. If you can do that, it gives you more space for the Platen. Otherwise, let's try it, put it in there before. Let's see what happens. Because all this does is just fits in there. All right, so that piece, that slides in here on the left side. I'm not sure if you saw that, but it slid right there. There's a little dowel that sticks out. The other one's going to be here, but I removed it, so I have to just put that screw back in after I get it Platen in. And of course, something already falls off. All right, she's back in place. Let's give this a shot. Alright, springs are in the right place, it's in the right place. This one likes to fall off just because there's really nothing holding it. Except for just gravity. So you just knock out your hand by accident. Alright, baby, let's go right here. All right. It takes patience, but it will get in there. So then, what I'll do then is just, you notice I got the screw towards the top, which will help. Then you want to make sure you line up this piece here. Let me show you. I just realized the camera doesn't show that. This piece right here to where the screw is, so that way it locks in good. Otherwise, what happens is it's going to spin. Your knob's going to spin. So you want to do that. But then the next step now is going to be to make sure that this rod pops out of this little hole here. You gotta line that sucker up and go through the hole. That's what holds everything in place. So you can actually look where the hole is and manipulate that platen up and down until the rod goes through. Okay, I just went through. And that flat piece is right there lined up with the screw. So the next thing I want to do is tighten up that screw. And that's right here. I mean, you want to get it nice and tight, but you don't want to strip the head of the screw. Okay, so your platen's in there. Your line spacer's right there. Click that. And she's working right there. Now the only thing you have left to do is there's just this little tiny screw with a dowel that goes in a hole for holding this paper tray in place, and it's just in the back here. So I'm just going to line that up. And screw that in. Alrighty, this one's done. Later.